I know you've been seeing, oh, there we go. Hey, Gabe, I know that you've been seeing how excited I am and all these things are showing up with me and with Realty of America. And I know that, and you've told me several times just how happy you are at XYZ Realty. And I respect that. I honor that. And I've been thinking about this. And I want to reach out to you because I know where this is heading. And there is such an opportunity here that I'm at a place in my life where I would have regrets if I don't share this with you. And so what I'd like to do is have lunch with you, buy you lunch this week, and just walk you through everything. And that way you can listen to it, evaluate it, and tell me no if you want. But at the end of the day, I don't want to get 5 years from now and you see what happens and then regret having never given you the opportunity to say no. Can I buy you lunch on Thursday, or would Friday be better? So there's your script. So you're giving them control and the close. What are some thoughts on that? Gabe, what was your thought? Just hearing that.
I do like it. I mean, I think that the approach is going to vary depending on the relationship too and the type of friendship. Because if, I have friends that, guys like to bust each other's chops. And if I come too proper, then it's like, hey, what's going on, man? Just be honest. So I know some of my friends that I've already reached out to, I kind of just blank, straight out told them, listen, man, I need you to do me a favor. This is incredible. Come check it out. I don't care what your thoughts are afterwards. We'll kind of laugh about it. But I think that as long as we're using it for the relationship that it probably resonates with most, it's a home run.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a couple people. I mean, there's nobody on this call that I've attracted that I shared that with. But as soon as I heard that script, there's two people in my life, and I'm going to call them and I'm going to use that exact script because it is more of a like there's that level of respect, and we don't talk that often. And so it's the perfect approach. So yes, Gabe's really good at reminding all of us, you always want to be situationally appropriate. Right? Every script is not appropriate for every conversation. So you've got to gauge it based on who it is. And I mean, if you're really tight with them and you cut up like you play basketball with them or whatever, then it's a different approach. But if there's a lot of stuff on real estate YouTube nowadays about this. But when you tell somebody, look, I'm giving you the opportunity to make a decision and you can tell me yes or tell me no, that's that separated from the outcome energy. And that's actually very attractive. There's a lot of human psychology going into that script because in a way, you're so confident in the opportunity that you're telling them that you would have regrets if you didn't tell them. There's a lot of positioning in that, but then also
Now, Chad,
go ahead.
let me ask you a question. So let's say someone in the audience there, they're newer and maybe they need that backup from their upline support. Let's say that script works and the person's willing to meet up. That person that's newer, are they having this conversation on their own? Or should we recommend, given the circumstances, that maybe bring an upline partner inside of it? So maybe Chad or Gabe or whoever sponsored you and say, hey, are you available on this date to meet up with this agent? They're already interested on learning more. I just need someone to help present the information.
Yeah, so let's dig into that because that's a big part of the do's and don'ts that we wanted to share here. So what we talked about in Chicago and on these other leadership calls is just there's such an importance of the heart of Realty of America that we don't get to a point where you're so focused on who's in who's downline that you miss the opportunity of building a company that you're an owner of. And so the answer to that is with any of these, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a meeting, whether it's anything like that, yes, ask for help. Ask for someone that has more experience than you. If you feel like you can handle it, if it's a relationship that you have enough rapport with, and you can do it on your own and you can get it to a certain point and then ask for help, yes, do all those things. But if you need help, ask for help. And I would say go so far as to say, even if they're not your direct sponsor or anything like that, the way in the culture of Realty of America is that if Gabe wins, I win. And Gabe and we're not in each other's quote unquote downline or anything like that, but it's iron sharpening iron. We're lifting up the entire company. Every time the company grows, those shares that we're all accumulating go up in value. And so if Ipaku needs help, I'm going to help her. If Marissa needs help, I'm going to help her. If Rebecca Garcia needs help, I'm going to help her. And you can do one to many. You can do one to many meetings where you ask Gabe Mendez to come help you, or if it's somebody that you need help with. I think it's really important that we help and that we also don't have any strings attached to that. I drove all the way to East Dallas, which for those of you who aren't from Dallas Fort Worth, was an hour drive for me to help an agent who is not associated with me at Realty of America last week. Okay, good. What else? Does anybody have any questions?
We have a couple of questions in the chat.
What if they're not licensed yet? Yeah, I would start. You could definitely start talking about this opportunity to people that are not licensed yet. You know, typically, at least in our market, when agents are going through real estate school, they get pitched 5 to 10 different brokerages while they're in real estate school. So, yeah, I would definitely start talking about the opportunity right away. Barry, do we have short video of the program, a spreadsheet to show them? You can get access to that slide deck from last week. And Barry, if you need help, Jonathan and I will help you. Okay. Okay, good. What are some other questions?
And you guys can go ahead and open up your mic if you want to. This is all around attraction, recruiting, whatever you want to call it. This is all around attraction, do's and don'ts, what's been effective. So go ahead and open your mics if you want to. If this is something you guys want to start doing and capitalizing on, which honestly, I recommend all of us to do it. You're in the business and you're part of something special already. You might as well put a little effort into it. So even if you're nervous, go ahead and open up your mic. Otherwise, we can go down the next bullet item.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I'll keep watching the chat there. Let me keep going through these notes here. All right. Let's see here. All right. So did we talk about the 5 levels of relationship last week? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if we covered that last week.
It doesn't sound familiar. I don't think we covered it last week.
Okay, good. All right. So let me hit that. So as you guys are starting to wrap your head around the attraction piece, think about everyone out there in 5 different levels. So your level 1 are your closest friends, your family members, and they would have immediate buy-in, meaning you're so tight with them. This is kind of what Gabe was alluding to, that they would actually tell you yes before they knew what the opportunity was. That's how tight. They're like, oh man, Gabe Mendez is doing this, I'm in. And then afterwards they're like, okay, so what is it? What are the splits? What's the opportunity? That's a level 1. A level 2 are strong business relationships, and they'll always take a meeting with you, but then they're going to do their independent research. That's kind of that spot where the script I gave you is probably most applicable, okay? A level 3 would also work for that script, and that's an industry peer, and they'll meet with you if asked. A level 4 would be an acquaintance, so you know each other, you know of each other, but there's no deep connection there. And then a level 5, there's no relationship, it's just kind of cold outreach, and it's, you know, the least effective therefore. So why don't we do this? Let's give everybody 1 minute and write down everyone that you can think of that's either a level 1 or a level 2. And let's make a list. Everybody on the call, I'm going to give you 1 minute and write down everyone that you can think of that's a level 1 or a level 2. Ready, go. All right, so everybody that's on the call, write in the total number of names you just came up with for everybody, for all the number ones and all the number twos that you have on your list. Let's see how many names did you get? Alex has got 6. Awesome. Who else? 3 number ones, Patricia. Nice. 8. Barry's got 5. 10. Nice. 4. Lily's got 3. All right. Come on, everybody. We're here for you. Haku's got 3. Nice. Okay, love that. All right, so what's today? Today's Monday. Let's take action on this. I know Gabe's an action guy and so am I. I'm a results guy and an action guy. So, hey, guys in the room, did you guys come up with a list? Working on it. All right. Good. All right. So let's make it a goal that everyone that put a number down, that you've made an outreach call, that you've reached out to every person on your list by Friday of this week. Okay. And it's just, it can start off, remember what we led with last week, right? What we led with last week is don't start with ROA. Start with checking on them. Check on them. See how they're doing. Find out what's going on in life. What's working well. What's not working well. Find out, just do a status check. Check in on them. And then once they give you permission, then tell them what you're up to. And if you get stumped, if you can't figure out what's next, that's when you ask for help. And we'll take action on it that way. Now, let me get to the next thing on the list here. We started to do this last week.
Hey, Chad.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I hop in really quick? I want to give everyone just maybe some words to start thinking of they can use on that initial outreach.
Yeah, go for it.
So this is what, team, I want to give you guys an idea of what I'm using for the initial outreach. So exactly what Chad said, I'm going to start off with the how's it going text. So like I'm going to personalize it. Hi, first name, it's Gabe. Happy Monday. How's it going? If it's someone I'm really close with and it's a guy, I'm probably adding in brother. Hey, how's it going, brother? It's Gabe. Happy Monday. How's everything going? Small talk. Opens it up, open-ended, nothing specific. Oh, it's going good, man. Blah, 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 blah. That's awesome. That person will reciprocate. Oh, what about you, man? I'll lightly touch on what I've been up to, how things are going. And again, it's just a small talk on text message or a phone call. And then afterwards, once it's a question, how's it going, is so general, you can then transition into business. Hey, how's everything at work? How are you doing in this market? That's one of my favorite transitionary questions, just because it's a natural transition. How are you handling in this market? Oh, it's going good, a little slower than last year, blah, blah, blah. And then quite naturally, they're going to ask you the same question. What about you? How are you doing? And that's where I take advantage of the opportunity and say, man, it's going really good. That's actually part of the reason I wanted to reach out to you. I just made a move to this brokerage over at Realty of America a few months ago. Have you heard of them? No, I haven't heard of them. Or I've seen something online about it. Yeah, I wanted to check it out just to see if it was a real deal, and it is. And I thought about you. And that's what I tell them. I thought about you. Make it real personal. That's the conversation that I'm having with them. Once I let them know that I thought about you, now they're interested. Well, you're at this new company. Why are you thinking about me? Hey, listen, I love the leadership. I love the training and the support. I think it'd be a great fit for you. And just like Chad said, leave that, be unattached to the outcome. I want you to check it out. I don't care if you join or not, but I at least want the opportunity for you to come check it out. I know you're going to love the leadership and the value that they provide. Or however you want to word that thought there. But that's what I say. That's the language that I use. And so when I'm talking to a friend or level 1 or a 2, I'm having that conversation, hey, listen, it doesn't matter to me if you join or not, but absolutely, bro, go check this out. I know you're going to love the leadership and the training that they have. Oh, okay, that sounds cool. Awesome. This isn't a pitch to get you to say yes or no. And if I have to say this, I will. Hey, listen, this isn't a pitch to get you to say yes or no. This is just a conversation to plant a seed to see if you're even interested. But it sounds like you are, right? So, like, yeah, cool. I'll just set up a call so you get a chance to see some of the literature, meet some of the leadership, and then just go from there, see how it works out. Awesome, bro. Well, anyways, man, go crush the day. We'll talk soon. I'll get a group chat going with that prospect, myself, and whoever I feel is a good support conversation to have. Maybe I'm using Mo, who's part of my leadership team. Maybe I'm using Claudia, or maybe I'm using both of them because both that
Right.
male female energy would work. So I'm just figuring out who I can attach that person to, send them the slide deck in advance, schedule that call, and then from there start having the conversation with them. Now, here's the last thing I'll say. Don't expect to close anyone that first conversation. But if that does happen, just understand that's a rarity, but it's not the common. And you'll have
Yeah.
to probably have a second or third conversation with them until they feel comfortable, ready to make a decision with it. So that's the overall conversation I'm having with people.
It's really great, Gabe. I love it. And
Thank
you
you.
said several things in there that I could chime in there. Be comfortable with letting people go through their process. You know, some for especially the kind of the bigger they are in production, the more of a process it is for them to make a leap. And so that separated from the outcome with or without you energy is so important to this. It's important in your real estate career too, by the way. Like when they know that you're going somewhere with or without them, that's a good place to be. And so it's, hey, you know, we're doing this and there's all kinds of opportunity. I'd love to show it to you. If now's a great time, awesome. If not, we're here for you. But let's walk through it. I can answer any questions that you have. And if they need to process, that's fine, right? Now, if you get into a situation and they're about to make a decision between Broker J or you with you at ROA, that's when you can, you know, be situationally appropriate. And that's where you may need to close. You may need to help them make some decisions right away. But that's not usually the case. And that's part of being a professional is to identify what the scenario is there. Now, let's talk about a couple before we run out of time here. Let's talk about a couple of these objections. You know, the one I keep hearing from agents around here is, let's say you call them and you say you want to have a conversation with them, you want to tell them about what you've been up to, and they say, "Well, I'm happy where I'm at." What's the easiest objection handler for that? Well, that's great. I love happy people. In fact, that's the only type of agent I would ever want to be in business with is a happy agent. So it certainly wouldn't hurt to hear what we've been up to, would it? Right. So don't let that stop you. You know, there has to be a resilience in your spirit as a realtor. If they tell you, oh, well, you know, we don't want to look at houses because we're going to go on vacation next week, and you say, okay, I'll just call you whenever I get back. You're going to starve, right? Set up the next step. And so, you know, oh, well, we're happy. Well, of course you're happy. You're a top producer. That's why I want to sit down with you. So let's go ahead and have lunch. I'll walk you through this. If it makes sense now, great. If not, that's okay too, but we'll have a great lunch. Would Thursday or Friday be better for you? The next thing that you hear often is, oh, I heard that that's a pyramid scheme. So I think we're making a lot of progress on this one. So one of the things you could ask is, you know, how did you come about that? How did you come up with that, you know, that idea? And then there are several ways you can handle the pyramid scheme thing. One is, it is true that in the like 70s and 80s, early 80s, 60s, 70s, early 80s, that there were certain business entities that were set up where they were literally scams, and they were using the money that they were getting on entry fees to fund the operation, and it was basically a pyramid scheme, and those got shut down. But those business practices have been outlawed for a couple decades now. And so there really aren't any pyramid schemes that are alive and operational in 2025. Now, every business model is actually a pyramid, but the business model in real estate for the last 75 years was there were only a couple of owners at the top and then all the agents at the bottom. So it was basically a pyramid that only a couple people had the ability to scale and get ultra wealthy on. What we are is we're actually more of a platform type model like a YouTube. And we showed you that last week, where any agent could build a large community across the entire country. And so if somebody has told you that this is a pyramid, it might just be because they don't understand, or it's because they're going off of kind of some outdated information. Gabe, anything to add on that?
Perfect way of handling it. This is the other way that I handle it. When people, I've been 3 times since I've been at any cloud-based model that I've had someone say it's a pyramid. This is my response to them. All I say is, I don't know about that pyramid thing, and I don't know how that works, but I do know how it works here. Whenever I have an agent who's naturally attracted to me, I invite them to the company. If they decide to join based on what they see, the company cuts me a check every time they sell a house. And that never used to happen for me at Century 21, the 4.5 years that I was there. Anytime I brought an agent at Century 21, they performed well. The manager, the broker, they all got a check. Here at Realty of America, when I invite an agent in and they sell a home, Realty of America cuts me a check. So that's the objection handle that I have. I don't know about that and how that's how I started off. I don't know about that pyramid thing and how it works. All I know is that when an agent reaches out to me about my company and I invite them into it, Realty of America will cut me a check when they sell it, when they train them and sell a house. And it's like, oh,
That's
okay,
awesome.
not that big of a deal.
Love it. Love it. It basically gives every single one of us on this call the ability to have the equivalent of what would be like a Century 21 or a Keller Williams or a Remax office that we own, that we're earning from those agents that we've sponsored in. It's just eliminated the middle management and the territory factor on it. Even the state borders. It's such a brilliant model, which is why it's working so well. And so at the very least, I think it's important that everybody here now realizes that the whole pyramid schemes in multi-level marketing and all of that, there were early adopting models decades and decades ago that were actually schemes, but there's absolutely no sort of a scheme associated with this. Companies like EXP or Real would not have been able to go public and then achieve valuations if it was a scheme, right? And so I want everyone on this call to feel comfortable and confident knowing that they're not part of some sleazy business model. I mean, I had to go through that. I had to make, even at my church, sometimes they talk about multi-level marketing schemes and this and that. And for a while there, I had to think to myself, like, is that me? Like, am I part of that? And the answer is no, we're not. There's nothing unethical in whatsoever. It's just simply a modern business model that's not running off a 75-year-old business brick and mortar structure where only the manager could make a bunch of money. So I hope that helps everybody on that. Gabe, do you have to jump right now?
I have about 2-3 more minutes. So if there's a final thought or question,
All right.
I can wrap up.
Well, why don't we do this? From the last 2 weeks, type in the chat or unmute yourself. Let's hear the takeaways from the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we spent 2 calls, team. Let us know what your takeaways are and if we can answer anything before we wrap up.
All right. Real solution, folks. I know you're not shy. Chime in on the chat. Come off mute. Devin, you were with me last Thursday. What's jumped out to you?
Chad, did you say Tevin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you said Kevin. I know it's more common. But no, man, I agree that, just changing the mindset as we do this. This is a new brokerage as far as being able to get rev share. Coming from Monument Realty, where no matter who you bring in, I brought in at least 3 to 5 agents over the last 2 years, and I didn't get a dime out of it because I wasn't a recruiter, so that actually does help. And I will say, to piggyback of what you guys said when it comes to the multi-level marketing, I did multi-level marketing for a small time in my 20s, and this is nothing like that. So far since I've been in it the last few weeks, so I do agree with that.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin. Desiree said, appreciate the scripts. Excellent. One or two more ahas before we go.
I think it's an interesting concept that you brought up, how it's a more modern platform for people to use this as a business venture, especially because if you're interested in more like bringing people along, guiding people, training people, then it would be a good approach to make money that way. Um, but is there like a difference in recruitment? Like, do you have to recruit, or is there an option of being like just a personal production, like focusing on that first and then moving on to recruiting people?
See, it's so great when you guys chime in because you give us what we need to
Yes.
facilitate the meeting. So I love what you just said. One of the number one things that I normally say, and maybe I said at the beginning of last week, is I think that the best way to attract is to lead with production. And so I think that by you focusing on developing your skill as a realtor and breaking through your personal ceiling of achievement, what will happen is that the natural byproduct of you growing your business will be that you attract. So you don't have to go like force yourself to do agent attraction or anything like that. But by becoming a top producer, the natural byproduct of being a top producer is you have attraction and influence. So does that answer your question? Because you're speaking my language. Like that's been the number one way that I've attracted was by blowing through my ceiling of achievement. The best way to go attract a top producer is to go double your business. Because
Yeah,
what
it
happens
was
when
good.
you
Thank you.
awesome. What happens when you reach out to someone and you go, hey, just touching base. How's it going? They're like, oh, great. How's the business? Oh, like Gabe said, it's not quite as good as last year. This market's a little tough. How about you? Man, I plugged into this new company. I've been attending the Winner's Circle. I've been attending the Real Solution. I've been attending these trainings with Andrea Serafini at Realty of America, and I'm on track to double my business. Would you like to hear about what I'm doing? If they say no,
Easy.
we're probably not a good fit anyway,
Mhm.
right? That to me, that's and one of the last things I'll say here is if you're going to do a live event like one to many, one of the best titles that we've found to get the best results in attendance is double your business in 2025. Because you're calling for the target audience of the agent that's interested in doubling their business. Like some of the most just wonderful people in our world here in DFW. I don't know if she's on. She's not on. Mercedes and Alondra. Miguel and I did a double your business live event, and we don't even know them. And they showed up just from the title. And then they joined the Real Solution, and now they're wonderful members of Realty of America, and they're along for the ride. Alondra was just on America's Real Estate Show. So yeah, who was that just chimed in a second ago? I couldn't tell who it was.
Oh, me.
Who's me?
My name is
some
Alyssa
reason-
Mendez.
Alyssa,
I'm
there
probably
you
like the last one. Yeah.
go. Okay. Alyssa, great topic, great statement. Go crush it. We're here for you. And if you need anything else, you can reach out to me. And let's go. One more aha, and then we'll wrap it up. Final thought, takeaway, aha, from the last 2 weeks. Yeah,
I'll say something,
amazing.
Chad.
Go ahead, Gabe.
This is Alex. Yeah, one of the takeaways or ahas that I have is what Gabe just said earlier. One of the things that I do is I edify Gabe Mendez as my upline sponsor because he's a
Yes.
top producer, right? And so when I have somebody who's a top producer, I talk about Gabe. That he's my partner, he's my mentor, and we're a team, right? And so I try to get it to where now I could connect both of them together.
Alex, that's brilliant. We call that cross-selling. And these two gentlemen over here on my right, Brooks Summer and Jason Breitenstein, they're excellent at cross-selling. And we teach that to everyone on our team. And so, yes, build up the other people in the community around you, and we'll all rally together and help attract wonderful people into the company. Perfect, Alex. And I think that's actually a great way to wrap it up. Gabe, did you have one final thing to share?
Nope. Just want to give a big, if we can all just give a big thank you to Chad for helping moderate the last 2 weeks. Hey, brother.
I think you jumbled up a little bit there.
Oh man,
But-
it was just my way. Hopefully you got the thank you. Did you hear the thank you?
I did. I got that. And that's good enough,
All right,
sir.
brother.
That's good enough. Hey, I appreciate you, Gabe, and you got an awesome community there. One of these days soon, I would love to make it out there and hang out with all of you in California. So if anyone needs me, reach out to me. If you haven't already followed Gabe on Instagram, it's at Gabe Mendez. You can follow me at Chad Smith Real Solution on Instagram. I wish you all well. If you need anything, let me know. And with that, we'll let you go. Ready? Break.